Well, hello everyone, and welcome to a little guide series episode in which I'll be focusing on Abaddon. I'm just going to be talking about a few intricacies about the hero, a few things that I feel most players. Oh, I seem to have lost my Abaddon. There we go. We're back. There are just a few things I would like to talk about with the hero. I'm sure by now everyone knows how to use Abaddon, but there are a few things that I personally like about this hero that I feel at least most players on my skill level just don't utilize to the maximum potential. So, as you all know, Abaddon's a strength melee hero who's very versatile. He can be played in any role, in any lane, in any position to do pretty much any purpose. But being a jack of all trades kinda means that he's not really like the best in one particular thing. But the fact that he can do anything really brings out a lot of versatility for any team. Now, if you look at just as a starting thing, this is the starting suggested items that are suggested for Abaddon. And when I look at this list, to be honest with you, I genuinely think it's okay. It doesn't really encompass much of well, I guess you could say it does, but in the sense of being a carry as Abaddon, these items won't really take you late game in the situational list. I personally believe if you're gonna be going for a carry Abaddon, or should I say carry Abaddon, you're probably gonna need stuff like Abyssal Blade, Armlet, Mask of Madness, and Daedalus and stuff like that. I'll get into that later, but that's not really the focus for now. But let's take it one step at a time then. Boots for Abaddon. The game suggests tranquil boots, and I know for a fact I have a lot of friends who really hate tranquil boots after they got nerfed. But if we look at it like this, like I said, Abaddon fills almost any role. So I would say to you that if there is no one in your team whatsoever who's building arcane boots for some odd reason, and you are in a support or roaming position, then feel free to get arcane boots. That would be the only time I would suggest getting them. But if there's someone else who has arcane boots, then do not bother wasting your money buying them. A soul ring is all you'll ever need. And in terms of phase boots damage and the phase ability itself is good, but I wouldn't really suggest them because of Curse of Avernus here. It gives you a bonus move speed of 15% already. So if we put down our boots, Abaddon goes at a steady 310, which is decently fast. And if we just have level 1 Curse of Avernus and attack someone, you go to 356, which is already really fast. It's almost as fast as some people's brown boots for that duration of the Curse of Avernus. So you may ask yourself, why don't I get phase boots and make that faster? Well, that's true. Let's TP to base and get ourselves some phase boots then. Oh, apparently I do not have enough gold for some odd reason. There we go. Phase boots. Yeah, I'll come back for the rest later. Put those down here. Let's go get some treads. I will not be focusing on Boots of Travel in this game because I believe that Boots of Travel work on any hero. It's just situational in the sense that, do you want to split push and be around the map or not? If the answer is no, then there's no reason to get wow, there's no reason to get Boots of Travel if you're not into a global strategy or you're not willing to split push or catch out heroes on opposite sides of the map. So really, Boots of Travel are just good boots. There's never a bad time to have them. If you have the gold to buy them and it won't offset your items, then there is exactly no problem. So now I've got power treads, phase boots, and tranquil boots. Now, some people will ask me, power treads give you 50 movement speed, so it's now moving at 360, and they give you 8 selected attributes, so either 8 strength, intelligence, or agility, and it gives you 30 attack speed. Well, there's nothing really bad about treads. They're just good all around. It will give you some good HP for survival and attack speed. And it does stack well with Curse of Avernus because Curse of Avernus gives you a bonus of attack speed every time you hit someone else. So if you have treads, generally you'll attack faster and faster and faster and faster and faster, which is good. So let's just refresh the situation. Just in terms of attack speed alone, you can take a look at how fast Abaddon hits Doom. Right? That's a decent attack speed. And then now phase boots give you 24 damage and the ability to phase through units, so you can run through people, which is good when you're chasing, especially in early levels and you've got someone with Curse of Avernus and you're trying to chase them down and their body blocking you. That could be a good selection of boots, and I dare say if you're gonna go mid as Abaddon, these would be good boots, as it will give you a way to close the gap as you're ganking in early levels before you get your Mask of Madness. But then in terms of attack speed, it's a little bit slower, as you can see, but it's not something that offsets treads. It's only minuscule. It's nothing I can count with my, for example, with my eyes right now, the difference in speed. I would have to actually slow it down and edit the video to show you just how fast that was. Now, the boots of choice for me that I personally believe Abaddon should always have are tranquil boots. Now, you may wonder, why would you want tranquil boots when they do not give you any HP, they do not give you any attack speed, they do not give you the ability to phase through any units just like phase boots or power treads. They just give you none of that. No attack speeds, no attributes, nothing. The reason why I say this is because I believe if you're gonna get any sustenance item on Abaddon, it would have to be lifesteal. The game recommends a Vlad's. The Vlad's is good. It gives you bonus damage and bonus auras for your team. And that synergizes well with Abaddon in the sense that Abaddon is a hero that's there to heal, to shield and heal his teammates throughout the entire fight. Let the course of fights go in longer than they should by saving heroes and, you know, taking the heat off his team. That's Abaddon's job. He's supposed to heal everyone and shield them from impending death, which is good. But wow, guy almost died there. There we go. So you could say that's Abaddon's job. So now the reason why I say tranquil boots are good is because they give you 90 move speed. That's the fastest boot you could potentially get besides boots of travel, which give you 100 move speed. But then look at the difference. Tranquil boots cost 975 gold. Boots of travel cost 2,450 gold. So a difference in terms of move speed alone, it's not even worth it to get boots of travel. You're only getting them from for the teleport ability. Now that they give 90 move speed, you're moving at 400 normally without any Yasha, drums, Yule Scepter, or any other item that gives any additional move speed. So if you pick up a Mask of Madness, like I said, lifesteal is a good sustenance source for Abaddon, and Vlad's doesn't give you anything in terms of move speed, right? Like I said, Abaddon is based on good positioning in saving your team and dealing damage, right? So if you look at Mask of Madness, it gives you 100 attack speed, which synergizes well with Curse of Avernus, and it gives you 30% movement speed, which will stack with your tranquil boots and your normal movement speed. It will just genuinely make you move faster, but it causes you to take 30% extra damage. Now you may think to yourself, yes, its lifesteals at 20% and makes you attack faster, but you take 30% extra damage. This is the one of the few cases where I say you taking extra damage is a good thing, and I'll show you why later. Let me just show you the bonus of 30% movement speed. Whenever I use drums, I go from moving at, this is me moving at 400 move speed, and then when you activate the drums, you're now moving at 520. So now you may think to yourself, what's the difference between 400 and 520? Well, the difference is simple. If you get a haste rune, or if you're moving at maximum movement speed and you're not Bloodseeker, that's 522. If you get Tranquil Boots and Mask of Madness, you move at 520. So yeah, every time Mask of Madness is off cooldown, you're practically hasted all the time, which makes positioning yourself and chasing down units extremely easy. Now, someone may say you can abuse that same thing with phase boots, which is true. If I use phase and Mask of Madness, oh, there we go. Phase and Mask of Madness will put me at 522. I will be exactly hasted, but the problem is that you can only phase every 8 seconds, and the phase duration is 4 seconds, so there'll be 4 seconds of you moving slowly, waiting for phase boots to cool down. But in the case of tranquil boots, that will not be a case. You will always be 2 movement speed away from being hasted throughout the entire time. But then I know there's a smart person out there saying, yeah, but if you attack with tranquil boots or be attacked, then you lose movement speed, which is true. If Doom attacks me, I go from having 400 movement speed to having 370. But if I use Mask of Madness, I'm still moving at 480. So that's a reduction of 40 movement speed. And this is without me using Curse of Avernus. It's 480. If I attack, I move at 522 again. So there's just no denying in terms of move speed alone and sustenance from the region that Tranquil Boots are the best. Now let's compare with Treads. If we put Mask of Madness in Treads, you only move at 467, which is already slower than broken Tranquil Boots. Now if we take Phase Boots and use Mask of Madness, you move again at 467, which is slower than broken Tranquil Boots. And if you use the Phase, which only lasts 4 seconds, then you move at max move speed for only 4 seconds. But if you get Tranquil Boots, the active lasts for 12 seconds. So for the whole 12-second duration, you will be moving at almost max movement speed. So that's a no-brainer for me. That's enough about boot choices and movement speed. Really, everything else to do with item choices here is okay with me. I think these suggested items for Abaddon are the best in terms of they're easy to understand why. Soul Ring for mana, Mech because you already have Mist Coil, which heals or damages for 250 HP, and then you add that with the Mech, which also heals for 250 HP. So you could potentially heal a single target, like your ally, let's just say Pugna over here. I could potentially heal him with Mist Coil and Mech for 500 health. And Pugna, for example, is level 25, even though he doesn't have any items. He only has 1385 HP. So that's a significant chunk of his HP that you're giving him back. And then on top of that, you can shield him from a further 200 damage. That to me is value from a Mech. Mech is good on Abaddon if you're not the carry. And then now transitioning to something like I said, if you're on a carry with Abaddon, Vlad is okay, but I would advise that someone else in your team get the Vlad so that you can get a Mask of Madness for the positioning, move speed, and attack speed that it provides. And then the Mask of Madness will synergize with stuff like Cranium, Skull Basher, or Abyssal Blade, which will help you stun lock people more, because the more you attack, the more chances you'll have of stunning. And stuff like Amulet of Mordigion, which will give you more damage, more HP, and more attack speed, which will make you hit even more faster. So let's activate the Mordigion right now in the Mask of Madness. Can you see that's a lot of attack speed? That's very, very fast as compared to, like, let's put the mask down and the Mordigion down and just attack with let's just attack with the Aghanim Scepter and Blade Mail. You see, okay. I'll let you see this attack speed. Right, let's refresh. Get the Mordigion and Mask of Madness, activate Mordigion and Mask. That is a lot of attack speed. That's significant. I don't even need to have like a personal timer to show you the difference. Even just viewing it alone can show you how much it is. So all the items pretty much are okay. I would just add to these situational items, I would personally add Skull Basher and Daedalus, because Abaddon's stat gain is good, but none of his moves, none of his skill set give him a way to amplify his damage besides Curse of Avernus, which only increases the attack speed. So if you're hitting at a flat damage, for example, right now I'm hitting at a flat 154 plus 31, I'm going to need something to escalate that to make me attack even harder. So stuff like Daedalus and Divine Rapier and maybe a Monkey King Bar or a Skull Basher are some things I would actually ask you to consider, and of course an Amulet of Mordigion for the early laning stages. Now on to something else more interesting that I'd wanted to talk to you guys about. One thing you have to understand about Borrowed Time is that as soon as you activate Borrowed Time, let me just put down my scepter, it negates all positive debuffs, all negative debuffs that had been put on Abaddon before this. So let's try look for, I actually don't have any. Okay, I can use fire spirits. Right, I'm burning. If I use that, I remove it instantly. I'll do that again just to show people what just happened. Fire spirits, fire spirits. I'm burning, I remove it. The icon that was here disappeared, so the debuff is gone. And during the borrow time duration, of course, if I get attacked, it heals me. I take no damage. So for example, I'll let Morphling hit me, I'll let Doom hit me, I'll let Bloodseeker hit me. Then when I use borrowed time, they heal me. So that's just generally how borrowed time is used. So usually even myself, when I played Abaddon before in the past, I remember in the late game team fights, I would find most of my time me shielding myself and healing allies, right? But as the course of time went on, I kind of believe that's really not the way you should play Abaddon. Yes, shielding yourself is good to tank more damage for your team, but I believe that Abaddon, especially with the Mask of Madness Tranquil Boots combo, is so versatile in terms of movement speed, such that you can get yourself out of sticky situations and always heal and shield your allies, never shield yourself. You have to sacrifice everything you have for your team, all your HP and all your mana. That should be, like I always tell my friends, you should always die for your friends. That's it, whether you're carry or not, because if you can get off a good borrowed time, you get all of that back. And that to me is the value of Abaddon. Always ensure that in a team fight, even if you're not attacking anyone, ensure that you're just healing people and shielding people. That's your job. Do not ever heal or shield yourself. I personally believe it's, of course it depends. If shielding yourself means that you are going to deal a significant amount of damage to kill the whole team, go ahead then. That's up to you. If you are the single damage dealer of your team, then please go do so. Now, another interesting fact about, not fact, but something interesting about the hero is, let's take Rapture for example. If I run, I lose HP. If I shield, I can shield for 200 HP. Like the shield reduces the damage by 200 as normal. So stuff like Rapture, or even if I shield myself and get doomed. Oh, now I might actually die. Not if I refresh though. My point there was that even if you get doomed when the shield is on, the shield will still block 200 damage of the doom. That's guaranteed. But then one thing you have to understand about being doomed is that if you go below the threshold, no, if you are still above the threshold and you get doomed, then borrowed time will not activate. But here's something that's extremely something good, I guess. There we go. Do some significant damage. If you use borrowed time and then get doomed, then you get your life back. So you're healing off the doom. But then when the doom runs off, you're still silenced. But one thing you have to understand is that Curse of Avernus, which is your passive, still works through doom, so you can still do damage and gain massive move speed, which is actually a very good thing, because doom kind of counters a lot of people, and Abaddon that much so. But the fact that you can still get Curse of Avernus buff on yourself when you're doomed means that even if you're the carry, you can still deal a lot of damage. And also, if you want to be spiteful to Bloodseeker, if ever you get raptured, you can just use Blade Mail and deal damage to him, because chances are you already have a lot more HP than Bloodseeker, and you should have borrowed time. Borrowed time will still activate even if you're silenced by Bloodseeker. Then you can use Mask of Madness to take increased damage. That's actually a very good strat. I personally believe if ever there's a Bloodseeker in your game, let him rapture you. So silence, rapture, you just Blade Mail and Mask of Madness, and you'll kill him. If you still have borrowed time though. The reason why I say that is because the Mask of Madness will make you take 30% extra damage from the Rupture per movement speed, and also the fact that you're moving fast means you cover so much ground that the Rupture will do so much damage. And then if you Blade Mail, that means you're reflecting all that damage back to Bloodseeker, which is extremely good. You can even do the same. You can't do the same thing with people like Phoenix because, let's see, there we go. Because Phoenix is technically dead during the ultimate ability. So what you can do is you can use your mask, and then you get healed from the ultimate while everyone else in your team is burning. So this is why I said Mask of Madness is a good pickup, because when you take increased damage, when borrowed time is up and you pop your mask, you're technically getting healed for 30% extra. And now the main purpose of this video was the Aghanim Scepter buff from 6.81. This increases borrowed time duration up to 7 seconds at max level, but also if your ally is within a 900 AoE, which is a significant AoE, it's like pretty much almost the whole screen, if not the entire screen. If any of my allies take damage, so Sven, let's see, Sven does damage to my allies, right? Right. So in those hits, Pugna lost pretty much like 1200 HP. Death Prophet lost pretty much almost the same thing. So they lost about 1200 HP of the weakest target, but we're not counting the fact that Cleave is pure. So they kind of lost more. So now let's look at Pugna again when I use borrowed time. Right. Now all that damage, 35% of it is transferred back to me. So another good thing about it is it will help you heal faster. So if Abaddon's already extremely low, this is gonna take, there we go. If Abaddon's extremely low, that extra 35% is enough to give him the boost that he needs. The boost that he needs to get to full HP extremely faster. This is a really good item, but the problem with it is the fact that you would think that I once had a theory I crafted with my friend. I thought that since 35% of the damage is reflected back to Abaddon to heal him, if I used Blade Mail, that 35% extra that I get from the Aghanim's upgrade will be reflected onto the enemy or the attacker. But that's actually not true. So I hope you understand my thought process. If someone hits my team for 100 damage, for example, if my entire team takes 100 damage AoE, 35 damage, which is 35% of 100, goes on to Abaddon with Aghanim Scepter, borrowed time, right? So I would assume that since I'm in borrowed time, I take that 35%, which is 35 damage, out of the 100 AoE damage that was done, and then I use my Blade Mail to reflect that 35 damage back to the person. But no, it doesn't work that way. Borrowed time only heals you. It cannot be used to do damage. So let me just do that, show you now. Sven's HP is at 2183 and it will not change. Let's see. Blade Mail activated. Sven's HP is not moving at all. So that was just a theory I had made, but it was a lie. And so yeah, that's pretty much all I'd wanted to talk about Abaddon. He is a very versatile hero. Maybe if I come up with more theory craftings, it would be interesting. But that's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and just know, if there's a Doom in the opposite team, just rage quit. It's funny how Doom actually removed the Mask of Madness, because I guess you could think of it as a buff. But as you can see, borrowed time will not activate. And you will just simply die. But thank you for watching, guys. It's just me rambling about Abaddon because I think the hero is simple in terms of his moveset, but in terms of the application within a single game, there are multiple applications to the hero. He can do so much, and Yes, he is easy to use, but I still think he has a high skill cap, in the sense that if you as a player are asleep during the game, then you'll do nothing for your team. But anyway, every player is different. I am me, you are you. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.